Look at that, slide it with your pinky finger. Oops, that's the switch. Hey, how's it going? I'm Landon, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe and click a like on the video if you do like the video. This is a cool mod video. We're doing an upgrade to this guitar. This is a vintage V52 BS. It's the reissued series, and you can tell it's obviously inspired by Fender Telecaster, the 52 style. So I've done a couple of videos previously. I did an unboxing video. I did a full deep dive of this guitar. It had some issues. I wasn't exactly super impressed with it. You can check out those videos, I'll put them in the cards. One of the biggest concerns I had with it was the internal electronics. Once I opened it up and took a look inside, it was a mess. And these knobs did not turn very well. They were super tight. By chance, Obsidianwire reached out to me and asked if I was working on any project. So Obsidianwire has sponsored this video by donating a Telecaster wiring kit, solderless wiring kit, a control plate, and new knobs. So you'll see that. So shout out to Obsidianwire. I am an affiliate of Obsidianwire. If you do want to check them out, take a look in the description. I know them especially because of the solderless wiring kits, which I've used a number of times, and I highly recommend. I wouldn't be affiliated if I didn't love them. I love them. They're super good. I have nothing but good things to say about them. So as I mentioned, I did a deep dive video. I didn't like the electronics. We're gonna go in there, pull it out, pop in the new kit, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that and how easy it is. All right, let's get going with this upgrade. Let's take a look at what Obsidianwire sent me. So first we'll take a look at the kit. It's pretty cool because every time I've ordered one, they've kind of changed the packaging, and it's kind of evolved over time. It used to be like this rough, loose paper. Now it's like this cool tray that it sits in on an angle, so it's really cool. So there we go, Obsidianwire vintage 3-way kit. Do not remove nut. Don't remove any nuts. That's my recommendation. You can just see here the attention to detail. It's perfect. These things are perfect. Perfect. Here's the output jack, really high quality as well. And you get a little bag that has all the hardware in it, the washers and the nuts and bolts and screws and twisties and things. It came with a sticker this time. That's the first. That's going on my guitar case. And this is the instruction manual. It's got all the instructions for all the different types of kits. So we're doing that one, which is on page 10. Tele traditional vintage. Really, really good diagrams. You can't screw this up unless you can't read a diagram. So I've screwed it up though. I've screwed up the diagram. One time I had my pickups wired backwards, and that was just me not paying attention. So here's the control plate from Kluson. Here's some Obsidianwire labeled Tele knobs, chrome knobs. Look really cool. So let's get everything out. And oh, I just want to take a nice picture. Why did I use that sound effect? Does anybody even know what that sound effect is anymore? So here we go. We're prepping for surgery. It's just like a surgeon. We're going to take off the control plate here and take a look inside and have a look at what I was talking about. When I said it was a mess inside, maybe I was over-exaggerating a little bit. I think I was really referencing that, though. That's kind of messy looking. I told you a million times to stop exaggerating. Okay, here we go. Here's turning the knobs. You can see how tight that pot is. That's the volume. So if you don't like graphic violence, turn away. I'm going to be cutting all the wires. There we go. Disconnected. So here's all the wires lined up. We got the output jack, got a body ground, and the two pickups. We're taking a number 12, sorry, can't read. And we're taking the output jack out the cup. There we go. And we're going to take out, there's a nice little close-up. You can see how the lighting changes depending on the camera I'm using. Pulling out the jack. I had a lot of problems with that, so I'm like, let me just take this thing out, compare it against the new one, and you can see on the left, the vintage, on the right, the new one, much higher quality. It's just better. This is not what I wanted to do. It was stuck in there. The cup was stuck in there. Socket cup, and it had like a roll of masking tape around it. So I kind of fudged it to get it together. Anyways, now I'm putting it back on, just twisting it. A couple more twists there. I couldn't get it flush. Anyways, 1/2 inch on this nut. It's a different connection for the stuff that came with the Obsidianwire. Doesn't really make a difference. If just have a socket set around, it will help a lot. So now let's get into assembling the actual control plate. We're going to take everything out, take out the knobs here. We're going to take the Obsidianwire kit off of the board. We're going to take out the control plate, and it actually has a front and back. I'll show you in a second here. So there we go. Take it off, and it's kind of hard to tell from the image here, but you can tell one side is rounded and has a different finish on it. That's the best way I can describe it. It's easier in person when you see it. You'll know which side is the top and which is the bottom. So that's the top, And the other side, it's kind of a little bit more dull, and the edges are rounded a bit towards that. I know I'm not making much sense, but it's one of those things you just gotta have it in your hands. It's really hard to describe. Sometimes words don't do good talking and things. So I thought maybe can I reuse the switch tip on this one? And the answer is absolutely no. So there you go. The one on the left is the vintage. The one on the right is a official Fender switch tip that I had. So keep note of that. You'll need a different switch tip to connect onto the Obsidianwire. Just look at the shaft. You can see the difference in the size of the metal, and you feel that when you're switching, you know which one is the cheap one and which one is the good one. So let's get everything on here. You put one washer on and then one nut, and you basically just hand tighten it at first. And then if you have a socket, or if you want to just give it a good hand tighten with a socket, I'll do that in a second here. And there we go. A little hand tighten. Don't give it too much pressure, just until it doesn't turn anymore. Now we're going to stick on the knobs. These are really nice quality knobs. And you'd need a flathead, a small, tiny little flathead screwdriver that lets you adjust the, well, hey, let's look closer. I was pretty much blocking it earlier, so here you go. Kind of set it the height you like, and look how smooth that is. You can do it with your pinky finger. I think I mentioned that at the very beginning of the video. I don't know why that's impressive. I think it matters. If you're, if you're a guitarist that likes to control your volume and tone while you're playing, you want to be able to do that easily. You don't want something like this where it's like sliding off. It's just tight pots. These pots are not good, and I'm sure you could lubricate them, make them a little bit better, but I'm just trying to make it look amazing, the side-by-side difference. So here you go. Let's take a look at the difference side by side while I talk about nothing, and you just look at the images. Like we've got not versus hot. That's all I can think of. That's the best I could come up with on the spot. So there we go. Now let's get into the actual wiring. And what I'm trying to show here, see the two wires on the top, those are for the output jack that came with the Obsidianwire kit. You can see how the ends are perfect. They'll just slide right in. I had to do a lot of handiwork here. I have my way. This isn't the best way to do stuff, and it's pretty messy, but it works for me. And I get the job done. That's all that matters. You don't need to be fancy. You can be fancy if you want to. Here's the wiring kit instructions, perfectly labeled. You can't screw it up. Put it just like that, and then you can't mess it up. You just follow one at a time. And of course here I'm gonna block what I'm doing with my hand. I will show it at one point. Now, I've never worked with any wiring like this that came with the vintage guitar. It's like this braided, threaded mess that I basically had to give it a haircut every time I pulled back the cable. It was a mess. I don't know. I don't recommend working with that kind of cable, wire, whatever you want to call it. So here we go. We're going to keep doing the same work. This is what took me the most of the time of the whole project. I wasted so much time cleaning up this wiring, and we're doing it again. And I'm going to block it again with my hand. I will get it. I promise. I'll get it once. I'll get it once on camera, zoomed in super clean, so you can see when I'm pushing down on the. Is it this one? Am I doing it here? Yeah, I got it there. Oh, there you go. I blocked it. Come on. Well, you get the point, right? Rather than soldering, you're taking the wire, you're depressing this little plastic button that has like a metal clamp inside. You stick the wire in, release, the metal clamp grabs the wire, and it's holding it. I've never had one fail. Never had one fail. Now I just jinxed it. No, they've been solid. They're really good. And I highly recommend them. This part sucks. I've said this joke before, that vacuum cleaner is the only thing you take back to a store if it doesn't suck. Good night, everybody. Before closing up, I recommend a tap test. Take an amp, plug it in, turn up the volume, tap the pickups, and make sure they correspond with the selector switch. I've wired it backwards before, and it happens. You know what I mean? Like, you do this at 3 in the morning when you're half awake, that'll happen once in a while. You do this in the shower while you're having a shower, you'll wire it wrong. I guarantee it. Don't do it in the shower. That's not a recommendation. That was just a stupid joke. All right, we're putting the control plate back together, and we are done. That's it. We're done. I hope now it's time to play with the knobs and fiddle around. So there we go. You got to see the whole process. It's a little bit simpler when the wiring is a little bit cleaner in the guitar that you're using. You can see how the wiring that came with the Obsidianwire kit was a lot better than the wiring that was put into this. So most of the work was cleaning up the wiring in this. But overall, still not too bad, not too hard of a project. I think anybody can do it. You don't need to have a soldering iron. You don't need to have any electronics or electrical skills. Is it electronics or electrics? Electronicals. That's gonna do it for this video. Again, check out in the description, check out Obsidianwire, take a look at them. If you do decide to use the affiliate link, I get a little perk, so I really appreciate that. If not, that's cool too. Again, if you haven't already, please subscribe, please like the video, share this around. If you know anybody that's looking to do an upgrade on a cheaper guitar that has bad wiring. As always, play guitar and have fun, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.